Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to solve paper 1, variant 1, May, June 2015. Many students asked me about break-even chart and how to answer questions with break-even chart. So number 1 in this paper has break-even chart question, so we'll do it together. Okay, so first you write your name. Don't forget this, center number, candidate number, and then we start with number 1. So here we have context about someone who's called Gomez. Gomez is a manager of a small computer repair business. This business, of course, is a service business. They repair computers. We have a table that shows the cost and the price. So Gomez charges $30 per customer, and the variable cost per customer is $20, and the average number of customers is 140, and the monthly fixed cost for Gomez is $1,000. So Gomez works in a competitive market, as they said here, and he knows that it's important to maintain customer loyalty and revenue. So he knows that lower break-even point would help him to improve profit. He thinks that the best way to lower break-even point is to raise prices. So Gomez is assuming that if he increases prices, he might, lower the break-even point. Okay, so let's start with the first one. What is meant by revenue or define revenue? Here I can say is the income made by the business from the sale of its goods or services, or I can simply write the rule, which is quantity sold times price per unit. And remember, you can get the full mark if you write the rule here. What is meant by variable cost? Variable cost is the cost that it changes with the change of output. So I have to say this. I have to say that is the cost, or the costs that change with the level of output. Don't forget to mention with the level of output or with the sales made, because you get 1 mark only if you say the cost that change. Now the break-even chart. When I see a break-even chart, immediately I go to the blank paper. At the end of the paper, when there is a blank paper, I go there and I write the rule. Do you remember the contribution method rule that we used in solving break-even? If you remember, then immediately write it. You can find break-even, as you know, by using a rule which is fixed cost divided by the selling price per unit minus the variable cost also per unit. So here the break-even could be calculated easily. I can find how many customers Gomez would sell to break even, to make no profit, no loss, by using simply this rule. So using my calculator, then I'll say equal 1,000, 1,000 monthly fixed cost divided by the selling price 30 minus the variable cost is 20. So here I have 1,000 divided by 10. Then the answer would be 100 customers. So at 100 customers, Gomez would break even. Remember, break even means when the total cost of the business is equal to the total revenue of the business. So I know now that Gomez, if I go back to my question here, I know that Gomez would break even at 100 customers, right? So the first thing I know here, and remember this is really important, I know that Gomez will break even at 100 customers, right? So I know that 2 lines will intersect here, somewhere here. The total revenue line and the total cost line will both intersect at the point where the vertical axis will be the 100 customers. So I'll start writing or drawing the lines. The lines are very easy to draw. I can simply start with the first line, which is the fixed cost line. So fixed cost will look like this. Why from the 1000? Because already they said the fixed cost is 1000. You know, I draw this and I label it, like just write fixed cost. Okay, then I draw the other line, which is, for example, total revenue. So here I need only 2 points or 3 points, let's say maximum, to draw a total revenue line. And then the total fixed cost line or total cost line would simply intersect with the total revenue and the 100. So there is no need to draw all the lines. So simply I draw the fixed cost. Then I start drawing the total revenue line. I know the total revenue line would start from 0. So remember the price per customer was $30, right? So at 0, of course, the revenue is 0. At, for example, 100, I know that the revenue will be 3,000. At 150 customers, I know that the revenue will be 4,500. What I'm doing here, I'm just, getting the revenue, which is the quantity. For example, 150 times 30, 125 times 30. I'm just choosing points to draw the lines. So here I have first at 0, 0. The other point is at, for example, 150, 4,500. So it would be up in the 4,500. And for 100 it's 3,000. So my line should look like this now. Okay, this is the total revenue line. Okay, so at 0, 0, at 100, 3,000, because 100 times 30, 3,000. At 150, 4,500. So 2 points, 3 points maximum would be enough. Okay, once you draw the total revenue line, there is no need to just do calculations to draw the total cost line, because now they will intersect at 100, right? So you can simply come and draw the total cost line and just get your ruler and draw the total cost line this way. Okay, and label it and say, of course, this is total cost line. Labeling is important, so don't forget to label the lines. Fixed cost line, and here the green one is total revenue line, and the blue one is the total cost line. Okay, so we're done. You got the 4 marks. Of course, in the exam, this would take 1 minute because what we did here, we used the rule. This is 1. We know that the break even will be 100 customers. I know that 2 lines will intersect at 2 customers, or the 2 lines would intersect on 100, where the break even will happen. Remember, this is my break even point. This is where the business will have both total cost and total revenue lines equal. So Gomez is going to break even on 100 customers, and he's planning to reduce this number. Okay, so I'm done with the break even chart. Remember, draw the lines after preparing or after calculating the break even using contribution method. Once you find the contribution method, start drawing the lines, and the lines are easy to draw once you know the break even point. Okay, so this is for break even. This is part C. For part D now, identify and explain 2 methods that Gomez could use to maintain customer loyalty. So as usual, we have 6 marks, and we have to explain 2 methods, 1 mark for knowledge and analysis and application, 1 mark for knowledge and analysis and application. So here we have many methods that a business can use to maintain customer loyalty. Remember, I'm talking about a business that repairs computers. So this business that repairs computer can do a lot of things to maintain customer loyalty. Usually businesses, can do a lot of things to maintain customer loyalty. So for example, I can say offer, let's say, good quality service. So if I have a business like this and I want to make customers loyal, they come back and repair their computers at my shop, so simply I will offer them a good quality service. So I can explain I can say customers, let's say, are going to return for, let's say, more repairs instead of going to many other rivals that Gomez has. So, as if I'm saying, offering good quality services, so customers would come to Gomez instead of going to other rivals. So customers would like to return back. This might be an answer, of course. I have many other methods. I can say, for example, communicate with customers. Communicating with your customers will build customer loyalty. You can do this by several ways, of course. Social media nowadays is a great way to communicate with your customers. So you can say, for example, when I can say, when customers need their computers repaired, Gomez could, or let's say, remind them by sending, let's say, a message to them. So customers will always remember his business. Okay, this might be an answer. So I can say offering extra services, maybe after sales services, when customers would come back. I can offer them, for example, I can answer their problems, or I can answer their questions. I can resolve their complaints quickly. Instead of going to rivals, they come and repair their computers at my place. So I have many of them. The last one, Gomez thinks the best way to lower break-even point is to raise prices. Do you agree? Justify your answer. This is part E, 6 marks, where opinion should be given. So here, Gomez thinks that the best way to lower break-even point is to raise prices. I have to explain, whether raising prices is the best way of lowering the break-even point or not. I have to give my final decision, which is, can be either for or against this statement. As usual, I'll start by saying what will happen if he raises prices, and then the however part, and then at the end I give my opinion. So I can say, if Gomez raises his prices, or his price, remember his price is now 30, he's working in a competitive market. So I can say, if Gomez raises his price, this will increase his revenue. So less repairs are needed, right? I'm saying this because if you increase your prices, you'll do less repairs to start making profit. Okay, so less repairs are needed to start making profit. I can illustrate, of course, instead of 100, he will break even at less than 100 customers. I can add, if you want, also, Gomez let's say, would suffer from this increase in prices as the market is competitive and increasing prices would force, for example, customers to use his rivals' services. Okay, this could be an answer here. I can show, remember, I'm showing here, I'm justifying my answer. Like, if he increases prices, okay, there's, an increase in revenue, no need to do a lot of repairs, so he needs only to do less repairs. But I said that it's a competitive market, he might suffer if he increase his prices. I can write a lot of things here. I'll go to the opinion part. I can say, in my opinion, okay, and it's up to me here. I can say, for example, Gomez would try to reduce his costs, for example, instead of doing this. I can say increase his prices, but as I understand from the context, the market is competitive. I'm talking about a computer repair business, so it's not a good idea to raise his prices, in my opinion. So I would try maybe to reduce his cost of repairing, but he has to make sure that the quality of his work is not reduced, as this might cause a loss in customers and customer loyalty. There's an answer that, I just wrote it now. So you can write this answer. You can have several answers. The point is, you need to just illustrate that increasing prices would benefit him in a way, increasing revenue and all these things, so reducing the break-even level of output from 100 customers to less than 100 customers. But I also illustrated that increasing prices in competitive market would make him suffer from losing customers. And in my opinion, I illustrated that he can work on lowering his cost, but he has to take care of this, he has to consider the quality part and the customer loyalty part in his decision if he decides to lower the cost of repairing computers. So the answer would be, of course, different. I'm just writing my answer. You can write your own answer, of course. The point is to have a full answer that has a judgment, a final decision, knowledge, application, analysis part. In 2015, the context used to be a short one. Now in 2020, the things are different. The context now are, heavy, and they have a lot of information to use. But this was a good question. So if they ask you how to lower a break-even point, now you can tell that raising prices is an option, and reducing costs is also an option. Okay, so that's all for break-even chart. See you in other papers.